Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Good morning, good evening. I don't know where you all are. You can say in the chat where you're coming from. I'm in Canada, so it's 9 a.m. I just had a nice cup of tea. So hopefully folks who are a little bit later in the day have already had their coffee or tea long ago and are well on their way. So I'm going to share my screen here. Looks like we have some folks from Germany, from California, so a couple of time zones represented. Normally I'd make some small talk about the weather, but it's going to be a lot different in those places compared to where I am. So I guess without further ado, we'll just unfortunately or fortunately have to dive right into the content. So I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Megan. I've been at ChartMogul for about a year and a half. And I'm an account manager here. So I'm really, really excited today to walk you through my workflow on how we use ChartMogul CRM for my day-to-day workflow, and how it's made my life a lot easier by being able to use everything in one tool. So I'm really excited to share that with you today. I'm also very curious. You can share in the chat as well if you have used ChartMogul at all before. Or if you are using it for the first time, if you've used ChartMogul CRM, please feel free to share your experience there as well. Okay, so before we dive into the account management CRM specific stuff, let's do a little bit of an overview on why we built a CRM to begin with. I know when we first announced that we were building a CRM, some people were like, whoa, that's an interesting move. There's a lot of CRMs already on the market. I'm really curious why that's the direction that you would have gone with it. But there's definitely a reason for it. And the reason I will share. So traditional CRMs were designed quite a long time ago, more than 15 years ago. You might be taking a look at these icons here and feeling some feelings from a long time ago. I know I definitely am when I take a look at what it used to look like. Having been in SaaS for just over 7 years now myself, I've certainly used a lot of different tooling. And the issue is that when CRMs were designed originally, there's lots of things about our business that weren't necessarily commonplace. So nowadays, we've got a lot of free trials, freemium plans, product-led growth, a lot of things like that. And as you know, there's a lot of inherent complexity when it comes to operating a SaaS business. Now, the fact that the CRMs weren't necessarily designed with this in mind means a lot of these activities just get a little bit more challenging to navigate. So we wanted to build a CRM that we needed as a business, as a SaaS business, because it just didn't simply exist yet. So when things are not built with the SaaS structure in mind, it can get a little bit overcomplicated and messy with a ton of different tools that folks are using. When I first joined ChartMogul, like joining any company, there's a lot of context to gather. You need to understand your product. You need to understand how you fit into the ecosystem. You need to understand your customer base and all of that fun stuff. And I found that I was digging through quite a few tools to get context even around one customer. There would be things in Zendesk, there would be things in our CRM that we were using, there was things in our CS tool. And I just wanted to hop on a call with a customer, have a nice chat without having to dig around in so many places. And the risk is missing something too. I mean, I'm sure that our leadership team would have really enjoyed if I'd spent more time getting up to speed on the product and our customers instead of figuring out where to get information. So not too long after I joined actually is when we had implemented ChartMogul CRM across the board for our team and actually ditched a couple other tools, our CRM that we were using, as well as our CS tool, which is the title of this talk today. So having all of these different, all this information and all of these silos is really, like I just said, getting in the way of your team doing the work. Further to that, though, you're not having this visibility into the full picture. As leaders, I'm sure many of you are, you know how hard it is to get a holistic view of the health of your business when you have your sales motion in one spot and then your product revenue in another spot. And then you're just trying to understand how to make these informed decisions when everything is in all of these other places. So we don't like that duplicate of data. We don't like how messy it is. We don't like the team being siloed. I know this is a constant struggle. It has been for every organization that I've worked for in different forms. It's a challenging problem, and this is definitely our way that we've begun to solve it for us. So, introducing ChartMogul CRM, built specifically for B2B SaaS in mind. You can see all of your revenue in one platform. We definitely use it as our commercial center. Everyone in our team has access, and this is where we're really utilizing it as our source of truth from the holistic customer journey. I've gotten very used to having everything in one place now. I would really struggle to go back to an organization that I would need to swivel chair between multiple tools. Very shortly here, again, I will be walking you through my workflow, and you'll see how it really is all in one place. So as many of you know, maintaining a healthy SaaS business now is so much more than just this left hand of the bow tie when it comes to customer acquisition. Of course, that's very, very important. Marketing teams, sales teams, product-led growth, all of these things go hand in hand when it comes to making sure that we are acquiring customers, which is really, really important part of building a healthy business. But of course, this right side of the bow tie, especially in the last few years, has become increasingly more important when it comes to onboarding, making sure the onboarding processes are really dialed in, making sure that product adoption is there, expanding and retaining your existing customers and that existing revenue. So that brings us to the right side of the bow tie today, which is account management, which is the function that I work within. So there's a few different ways that we use ChartMogul CRM for account management. So anything from renewals to retention, like I just mentioned, to product adoption. I'll show you how to build a custom dashboard so that you can do all of these things. So without further ado, let's see it in action. Awesome. So taking a look under the hood here at ChartMogul, this information that we're using today, this is demo data, so don't worry, you're not, don't be afraid, everyone else. We're not looking at our actual information or that of our customers. However, there's an Easter egg. I will be sharing one thing through this demo that is actually real. So keep your eyes out. You can put in the chat if you can guess what it is, and I'll share after what it is. And your prize will be that you can feel proud of yourself for paying attention to this wonderful webinar that we're hosting today. So you're taking a look at this account management dashboard. I'm going to back up a little bit just to give folks who aren't as familiar with ChartMogul a little bit more of a holistic picture of what ChartMogul is all about. What are we looking at here? Let's orient ourselves a little bit. So this home dashboard here is, it used to be what we had in ChartMogul to look at from a dashboard view before we added in the ability to add multiple dashboards. I'll be going through that a lot in detail for the rest of the presentation, but just to orient yourself where we are, this is the home dashboard. On the left-hand side here, this is where you can see all of the other components of ChartMogul. So you can see there's reports, customers, opportunities, and we'll go into all of those in depth. Also, I apologize, my husband's Apple Watch is ringing and it will stop very shortly. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay, there we go. So on the left-hand side here, this is where the other components of ChartMogul is. So there's reports, customers, a few other things that we won't have time to go into today, but we're going to spend a lot of time in these two areas of the platform. There's a couple ways that you can get here. Once we get into the dashboard component, you'll see that I'm clicking into components here and it's going to take us to the reports. It's going to take us to the customers, but I just wanted to highlight there's multiple ways to get there. And so I just wanted to show you that so that it all becomes clear when we go through the dashboard part. So Over here is the account management dashboard. So I have set this up for myself. Our entire team can view it. However, you can set these dashboards up so that only yourself can see it, or only folks with a CRM seat can see it. So depending on what type of content you want to have in here, that's up to you. Like you can see here in the home dashboard, there's all of these really incredible metrics that you can see in ChartMogul. So in ChartMogul, the way that it works is we connect into your billing system. So we'll take data from your billing system. Maybe you have multiple billing systems. Maybe you use Stripe, maybe you use App Store, Google Play, something like that. You can have all of that data come into ChartMogul to showcase all of these wonderful revenue metrics that we have. Like you can see in the report screen, there's tons and tons and tons of information that you can get within ChartMogul to analyze your business. Now, on the account management side, I just wanted to see not MRR for everything, but I wanted to see MRR for managed accounts. So I've set it up so that I'm only taking a look at my piece of the puzzle when I'm taking a look at this business at a glance. And like I said before, any of these things you can actually click into. So the way that you set this up is there's a concept called filters. So I had set up this filter where MRR is more than 500, and that's what built this specialized managed accounts MRR dashboard that I view. You can really do it any sort of way. So say, for example, the way that you manage your managed accounts is by specific account owner. So maybe you just want to take a look at Jeff, who's as an account manager. Bad example because this demo account, he doesn't have anything. We'll take a look at Sarah's. That will showcase all of their specific revenue. So just to showcase how these filters can be implemented. Once you have the filters you like, you can click Save Chart. You can go back to your dashboard, and then you can add it in here by clicking Add Report to Dashboard. So that's how we got that there. Another great option, churn rate sliced by price. So this one we're comparing two sets of data, one for MRR more than 500, one less than 500, and then we can compare how those two data sets look over time. Again, really, I always tell my customers that you're limited to your creativity when it comes to ChartMogul, because there's so many different ways that you can look at your data. And it really comes down to what types of questions do you want to answer? And often on calls with my customers, we'll dig into this. You know, how can we make sure your business is in a healthy place? What are some different ways that we can have have your customers, or what are some different ways that you can grow your business? So let's look at a day in the life. So this list here, this is my hypothetical list of managed accounts. Again, we've developed this by filtering for customers that are more than $500 for this specific segment. Again, many different ways that you can have that set up. I'm looking at my calendar. I have a call today with Source Electronics Industries. Fantastic. Hop on the call, have a really great conversation with them. We at ChartMogul use a tool for our calls called Sales Room. We actually have an integration with them. You can ask us about that after if you're curious to learn more, but the calls automatically get logged for us when we use that. However, if you are not using that, more integrations to be built in the future, but right now you can log calls manually. So had a call, went well, awesome, love it. Probably you'll add more details, and then you can add how many minutes your call was, click save. This all gets logged here, so anyone can click into this specific customer and see any of your calls, your notes, things like that. When I was on the call with Jessica, she actually let me know that she just got married and she's going to be going on honeymoon. So I want to make a note that says, got married. When I talk to her next, she can see, I can ask her how her honeymoon was, and then she can say, wow, you're such an attentive account manager. So glad you remembered that. What else? I also want to add a task so that I can send her details when she gets back from her vacation. So I'm going to add this task here. I'm going to make it due when she gets back from her vacation at the end of August. So I've added that task there. What else? She also, unfortunately, she let me know on our call that there was recently an acquisition or a merger that their company went through, and it sounds like they might be consolidating their tech stack. So for me, that reads, ooh, this customer might be a little bit at risk. And so I'm going to add something called a tag. These tags can be used in different ways, but in this case, I'm going to add an @risk tag. I'm going to send her a follow-up email, which can be done directly within ChartMogul. Great call today, Jessica. And then you can send the email directly from here. Sorry, Jessica Chung at example.com. All of this can be logged here. So again, the team can see this holistic picture. We can also take a look at revenue data related to this customer too. So we can see how long they've been a subscriber for, what their MRR is, their net payments. You can navigate over to the subscriptions tab here to see what their historical plan movement information was and what their revenue story has looked like as a whole. This is obviously very helpful to have when you're able to see everything in one spot. So we've added this @risk tag. One thing that you can do is we can navigate back to this dashboard. Let's say that I want to add a customer list on here that shows us all of our customers who are at risk. How do we do that? So I'd mentioned over here these customer lists. These can be customized in many different ways and then also can be saved. So let's add a tag here to this customer list. Has at least one of at risk. This has this one customer that we have just tagged. So let's save this list. Let's call it customers at risk. And we can have the entire team see that. That's fine. So now this is a saved customer list. It shows up over here. When we navigate back to our dashboard for account management, I'm going to remove this filter as well. Click Add Report, choose Report, and the list that we had just created shows up here. So now when we log into our dashboard, we can have this be one of the items that we take a look at. So that's essentially how you add something to your dashboard. Let's say, for example, my leader says, "Hey, Megan, I know you're responsible for accounts that are over 500 MRR. However, we want to run a pilot to take a look at customers of more sizes. And for a 3-month period, can you take a look at all new customers and reach out to them?" Okay, great. How do I do this? Let's go back to our customer list. Let's add another filter. Let's go subscriber since. Actually, I'll back up for one moment just to talk about these filters because I'm going a little bit quickly here. All of these filters that you see here, these are built into ChartMogul. You'll see these ones with these 2 arrows. Those are called custom attributes. So you can filter by any of this native data that we have, but then also you can import any additional data. So there's all different types of information. If you wanted to go through your specific tech stack, and we could talk more about how to get your data in here, we definitely can do that. But it's really quite cool. So if you want to even take a look at specific lead sources or your customer satisfaction scores or anything else, that can be imported as custom attributes. So back to the problem we have at hand. Sarah, my manager, wants me to take a look at all new customers. So let's go subscriber since, and let's go is within, you can choose fixed or dynamic. Let's go this month. So now we're taking a look at all new customers who have subscribed this month so that I can keep this top of mind. Again, I'll save list, new customers this month, save, and again, going back to the dashboard. Great, it's successful. Back to the dashboard, we can then add this report in there. So hopefully you can see now how you can save different customer lists, different reports, and then add them to your customer dashboard, depending on what it is that you want to focus on. I'm going to show you a couple of the other items that I have on my dashboard. I won't rebuild them for you because you just saw that twice, but I'll show you what I've done. When it comes to customer retention, there's a few different things that you can look for to see how healthy a specific customer is. So one in particular that I like is this one, has not logged in the past 2 weeks. This is something that I often take a look at. I find it to be a good indicator of if a customer is in a healthy place. I can click into any of these customers who are in that list. I can give them a call, or I can send them an email to check in and say, hey, is there any additional training that you might want to see? How's everything going? Is there any concerns that I can address? So that's one that I really like to see as well. You can also take a look at, I've added churn customers, so in case we want to run any reactivation campaigns. This is maybe something that might look good on a leadership dashboard, but you can take a look at customers per account manager, for example. We've stacked a bunch of different filters here so that our leadership team can make sure that everything is evenly distributed across the account management team. What else do we have here? There's the activity overview. So Sarah can keep an eye on making sure that we're communicating with our customers often enough as well. So lots of interesting things on this dashboard. Okay, 2 more things that I will talk about on my dashboard. I also see questions coming in. Thank you, Sarah, who I keep using in my examples for answering those as well. Great. I can't read all of that right now. I'm too busy chit-chatting over here, so I'm glad there's good conversation happening. So 2 more things that I'll show you. So I manage my renewal and upsell cycles directly in ChartMogul as well, utilizing our opportunities. So there's 2 different ways that you can get to opportunities. One is clicking into the opportunities tab here, but you can also click in from these ones that I have set up on my dashboard. So let's say I want to take a look at all renewal opportunities. This is a renewal opportunity list that I've saved, that I've added to my dashboard. But if you wanted to just start fresh, this is where you will see all opportunities. You can go filter by yourself as the current user. In my case, I want to only take a look at renewal opportunities because that's what I'm wanting to manage there. To build an opportunity, it's also very easy. You'll go into the specific customer that you want to create the opportunity for. Actually, I'm going to go to a different customer that doesn't have one already just to showcase it a little bit more effectively. So you'll click Add Opportunity. Very, very straightforward. I've used a lot of CRMs in my day, and I describe this as a very rep-friendly way to build an opportunity. There's just not too much going on. There's certain CRMs, I won't say any in particular, that there's just a lot. There's a lot. It's like a multi-click process to just do one thing. So it's a breath of fresh air to just really easily add in the fields that I want and move on, go about my day, making customers happy, making magic happen, all the fun things that we do as account managers. So you can choose the sales pipeline here. This is something that can be built in the back end, or not the back end, but in the settings of your account. You'll define what you want to have as stages. So you can have specific products. In our case, we have renewal as well. Set the stage. This is all customizable and has been set up. I can show you where that's done as well. Set your close date, your value, whatever you want that to be. And then you can add your next step as well. Depending on your preferred workflow, you can work out of next steps, or you can work out of those tasks that I'd previously shared with you. Doesn't make a difference. I use both for different things for my workflow. So that is how you create an opportunity. It's very, very straightforward. Not too much to share about that, which is a really good thing. But I'll show you where you can set up those. In your settings here is where you can program the opportunity data. So you can go and take a look at that as well. While we're here in settings, I did want to share all ChartMogul customers have 3 free CRM seats. This is 5 out of 3 in our demo account. Yours will not say 5 out of 3, but you have 3 seats. Quite a few customers that I've spoken with didn't know this. So your account owner can go into users and toggle those 3 free seats on to whoever you would like. So you can play around with it, get a sense for ChartMogul CRM. There's a couple of differences between the free plan that we have here and then the paid pro plan. But please, by all means, give it a try. It doesn't cost anything extra. All right, last thing I will share with you. So last month, maybe the month before, I hosted an event here in Vancouver. with some existing customers and with some new customers. It was very, very fun. We had a really great time. If anyone here was there, hello, thank you for coming. We had a really nice time. How did I go about determining who I wanted to invite? Again, this customer list, my bread and butter. I spent a lot of time in here. In this case, we want to potentially choose the size of customer that we want. This is what I did. Let's say we want to host an event attached to SaaStr next month. We can go by location here. Region is one of US West. So SaaStr is in the Bay Area. It's happening next month. I want to host an event and I want to invite some of our larger customers who are based in the area. So I can go through and I can click into a specific customer and email them directly from there. We can email them utilizing a template, which you can build in the settings as well. So in this case, I've got a template that says SaaStr event invite, and then we can invite them there. So pretty handy to do. That's how I invited folks to the Vancouver event, by filtering by region there. One last thing I will say about that is over here, you can also see the customer status, and this is bringing us full picture. I know we just have a few minutes left, bringing us full picture to the benefits to why we want to have our CRM be in this space where we're talking about revenue when it comes to our customers. Okay, maybe we're going through this list, canceling in 2 days. This might have been something that I would have missed when I'm going through and sending out these invites. Now I can certainly still send this email template to invite them to this SaaStr event, but I'm definitely going to be changing the copy to say, hey, I can see that you're leaving ChartMogul. Is there anything that I can help with? We'd still love to see you in person. The Easter egg is that we actually are having an event in September in the Bay Area near SaaStr. It's a brunch. If you want to come, email us, and we'd love to have you there as well. I will stop sharing now. We have 2 minutes left. It looks like there has been some questions coming in. I'll do a quick scan of the chat to see if there's any questions that we should further speak to right now, but it looks like Sarah has been answering quite a few. We've talked about in the chat, Nathan, N8N or Nathan. I still don't know how to say it. If you do know how to say it, feel free to pop that in as well. Sign contracts, signature processes. Okay, cool. I'll give 10 more seconds for any one last question if you want to ask it. Otherwise, okay, perfect. That's exactly what I was about to say. The recording will be emailed to you afterward. It will be sent to you in an email. We'll also have a YouTube link that we can send to you if you don't get it for whatever reason. We will also send you the contact information for Marius, our colleague who specializes in CRM. So if you do want a personalized demo to speak about your specific data stack, how you can integrate, how you can use ChartMogul CRM, book some time with him. He's fantastic, and we can walk you through everything you need to know. Marius is typing right now. I think he'll drop his calendar link as well, so feel free to just grab that and book directly in with him. But it's been wonderful to meet you all. Thank you for coming. Awesome. Catherine also dropped our registration link for the breakfast meetup that we're hosting in September. And it's been really nice to hang out with you all. You can hang out with me too anytime, book some time with me, send me an email. We can just chit chat. That's what account managers do, right? Okay, thanks everyone.